I have not done a follow along workout video in quite a while, so we're gonna do a real impromptu one today. It's a very rainy, cold day here in Michigan. I've got Merlin over here who is just super duper sad. Hey buddy. Because it doesn't look like we're gonna get outside for a walk today, so we're gonna have to do some play down in the basement later. So I'm actually in our bedroom. Very minimal equipment workout today. You're gonna need a set of light dumbbells, like 5s, 8s, something in that area. And then a set of like medium size. I've got some 20s, you go 20s. I'd say between 20 and 30 pounds is gonna do you right. And I have one of my bands that all I did was I took the handles off, so we can use it for a little bit of mobility and some different things like that. You can keep the handles on if you have a band with the handles, or if you have like a fully looped band, like a larger one, that's gonna work great as well. Over in the corner, I have the Swiss ball or yoga ball, whatever you wanna call it. Almost everybody has one of those at home, it seems like. Let's get started. We're gonna do a little bit of a warm up and then we're gonna jump into it, probably about 30, 35 minutes. It's not gonna take a lot of your time. And you're gonna get a full body workout and it's gonna be fun because you'll have me to entertain you along the way. Get yourself against something that you're gonna have a little bit of support with. We wanna warm up the hamstrings to start, so I'm just gonna be here and what I'm gonna do is bring that leg up, sort of flexing and squeezing the heck out of that hamstring. I want that quad to be vertical, so we don't want that business going on. I'm gonna come down and just flex. So try not to like get those hips moving. We don't want to start compensating in the lower back. We just want to feel it in that hamstring. We just want to pump some blood in there. If it feels like it's going to cramp up on you a little bit, that's not necessarily like a bad thing. You're not a weak human, it's okay. That hamstring is just maybe not used to being tapped in with quite that intensity or that angle. Try to work through it and work at it. Anytime you get those, a little Charlie horse or a little cramp when you're doing an exercise, it's just, that muscle's not used to being activated in that way. That's all it means. I'm gonna get one more here, and then I'm just gonna switch legs. So I like to just stand against something I can grab onto, chair, wall, whatever, so I can get the most out of it. Hold it for a second at the top. Sometimes I'll do that. That's just gonna help connect with that a little bit better. Slow it down. Awesome. All right, same thing here. I'm just gonna kind of go towards you and hold on to the side. I'm gonna extend this leg up, point the toe towards me. So now I'm kind of firing this quad, other side of my leg. Same thing here. We don't want to compensate and lean back. We just want to come straight up and then down. So I'm trying to stand up as straight as I can and just make the most out of this. I'm not really counting reps here, but if I was to give you a rep range, 8 to 10 each side, something like that, go by feel. If you feel like you're warmed up there good enough, good. You know your body better than anybody. Okay, we'll hit the other side. Obviously the stabilizing leg is starting to get pretty fired up as well. You might feel stronger on one side than, the other with this single-sided stuff. I know I certainly do. It always kind of exposes some interesting things. So that's why I'm a big fan of unilateral or single-sided work in mobility, warm-ups, and, in strength training. It just gives you information to work with. Last one right there. Woo! All right, bring it down on the ground. I might adjust this a couple times, sorry. It's real life. All right, I'm gonna go at a little bit of an angle so you can see what's going on. Split stance, bring my hands down right there. So my hands are even with my foot. I'm gonna take the hand that's closest to that foot and put it right on the opposite shoulder. And then I'm gonna drive that elbow down as deep as you can. If you can get contact with the floor, that's awesome. If you can't, just go as far as you can. I'm gonna take this good support on this guy, turn it up, and then nice vertical here, nice vertical right through the ceiling. So just opening up the chest and shoulders. Let's stay here for 4 more. So I'm just gonna drive that guy down, turn it up, slow and controlled here. Every little increment that I'm, going through, I'm just really focusing on what's supporting, what's happening. Breathe. Last one. Okay. And then we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Set it up in this nice split stance. Bring my hands right down there. Hand that's closest to the foot. Grab that shoulder. Oh, this side, yep. Can't quite get there on this side. That's all right, it's just something I gotta keep working on. Awesome. I'm gonna do one more. All right, perfect. Grabbing this band. So this is where this band is gonna come in handy. And if you got a broomstick or, like I said, any kind of band at home, it's gonna work just fine. I'm gonna take it so it's a little bit wider than my shoulders, and I'm gonna do some pass-throughs. So I'm gonna show you from the side. I'm gonna keep my arms nice and straight. I'm gonna pull this band apart as I come up, pull apart, pull apart, pull apart. So the purpose of a pass-through is to test out that shoulder mobility. And if you can take that shoulder through its full range of motion without compensating in your lower back by bending back or breaking at your elbows and bending your arms and trying to get through like that, awesome. If wherever you start to break down, that's where you stop. Doing this in a mirror is really nice feedback to see where you're at. So we're just gonna give this a couple of spins. This is something that I work on all the time, literally every single day. And when I started doing it, it did not look like this. But if you have a job where you're, sitting a lot at a desk, looking at your phone, shoulders are forward, this is gonna feel difficult. And that's all right, just keep working at it. You're kind of combating all of that forward head and neck position by doing this. So this is definitely an everyday thing for me. I have a standing desk in my office and I keep a band just like this or a PVC pipe stick next to it because I do these all the time. All right. Hopefully wherever you're at, you're feeling okay about what you're doing with it. I'm gonna do one more and then we're gonna get into the workout. Right, Merlin? Yeah! Okay. Set that aside. What you're gonna need to start with is your lighter weights here. So we got two things we're gonna work with, which is called a superset. I like to do a lot of superset circuits. Sometimes I'll do straight sets, do different things a lot. Stay hydrated, okay? Okay, here's what's happening. This is gonna be a different twist on a lateral raise. So what I'm gonna do, lateral raise just means bringing them out to the side. What I'm gonna do is start them out like this, and then I'm gonna drop this one down, and that would be one, and that would be one. So maintaining, I'm gonna try to do 8 here, 2, and 2. All right, so I'm gonna kind of count in my head while I explain to you a couple of cues here to be aware of. If you always feel like when you're doing lateral raises, you're feeling it in your neck, think about drawing those shoulders back and down away from you. A lot of times, because of our lives that we live, our shoulders want to kind of shrug up on us, especially when we lift weights. For sure, it becomes really, really evident. So try to keep those shoulders down and back, down and back. We don't want to get into the position where you're shrugging up like that. All right, I'm gonna call it with one more on each side. Woo! Decent little burn there. So honestly, for most people, 5s, 8s, 10s, somewhere in that range is gonna be just fine. Ladder squat. So I'm gonna go up to 8 reps. So it's gonna be a little bit of a double squat on the bottom. I'm gonna go body weight for the purpose of this video. You can add weight whenever you want to. If it's this workout or the next time you do it, whatever works for you. So I'm gonna go down, and this will be 1, as deep as the squat I can get. That's 1, 1, 2, and we're gonna go up to 8. 1, 2, 3. Whole purpose of this is time under tension. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We always want the movement to feel controlled. So I want control down here. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maintaining. I'm not falling apart. I'm not leaning forward. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! It's a great time on the stems. Great time. All right, so we are gonna go back to back with those 2 exercises for 2 more sets. So total of 3 sets. Get your bells. Get ready for it. Shoulders back and down. Bring it up. Drop 1. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. What do you say, Merlin? 4. Obviously, do the rep range is going to work for you here. I mean, just because I'm doing 8 and you're like struggle busting with 8, do 6. It doesn't matter. You know, I always try to preach this to people with exercise, with weight training. You're not married to a certain rep range. You're doing what you can with the weights that you have. I know people are always looking for like that magical rep range. Truth is, you can build muscle, you know, between 1 and 50 reps. I mean, honestly, I think we overthink it too much. Holy crap, I think I'm done. Woo! All right, double squat. So it's like a double squat ladder is what I call it. Do a little side angle for you. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Obviously 6, 7, and 8 are nonsense. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's killer every time. Honestly, with that one, very rarely do I do it with weight or with resistance because body weight usually does the trick. Okay. We will do one more round of this shoulder squat series and then we'll get into, you know, more things, more fun things. Okay, set her up. 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Maintain good form here. 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. And then I got 8 on that side. Nice and slow and controlled down. Last time on the squat ladder. Hey, you can also do the squat ladder and if you want to switch it up, if you want to do like a narrow squat, if you want to do a nice wide, well, maybe I'll do a nice wide sumo squat to finish it. Different angles, good stuff, all good stuff. All right, here we go with the sumo. I'm gonna go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try not to rush it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're almost out of it. 7, 8. Good God. Oof. Oof. All right. Whew. Take a nice little break, and I'm going to explain what we're working with next. We're going to use the ball. So the reason I have it over by the wall is maybe a move that not a lot of people are familiar with in the way that you can use the ball kind of to your advantage. So I'm going to grab my sort of medium, heavier weights, And it's gonna be basically a take on an incline chest press. So you're gonna need to push the ball against something stable. In this case, I have the door, so that should work great. And I'm gonna lean into it. And what I wanna do is create a bit of an angle. So I can come up with my dumbbells like this, kind of like laying on an incline bench. Certainly, if you have an incline bench at home, that is also gonna work just fine. So we're gonna work on that, and I'm gonna try to get like a decent angle here for you with the camera. Hi, Merlin. Okay, so here's what's happening. We're gonna get into the position, which takes a second, I know. Get your bells kind of so they're in front of you like this. I'm gonna bring them up. Even if you need somebody to like hand them to you, if you have a partner that you're working out with, that's a good call. Okay, here we go. So when I press these up, I want them to be above my chest. I don't want them to be above my face. So bring them out right above that chest. What I love about the ball is those shoulders can really sink back and down into the ball, which is awesome. So let's talk about reps here. I would say somewhere between 8 to 12. You know, depending on what kind of weight you're working with, how often you do this movement, use your judgment. I would love for you to have the last like 2-ish to be challenging, but manageable with good form. That's a good way to think about it. So I'm gonna do one more, because I don't know where I'm at, but it's feeling good. Okay, bring them down safely. And I'm gonna cruise up because we're gonna pair this up with a leg exercise. We're gonna be down on the ground. So it's gonna be a single leg glute bridge. Let me get hopefully in a position where you can see me good. So we're just gonna go straight off the floor today. I'm gonna bring this foot straight up. Bring my palms facing the ceiling. I like to sort of tuck my lats under so I can really get open chest. And then from there, I got my heel pretty close into my butt. And I'm just gonna drive that whole foot down into the ground. This leg is gonna try to stay nice and straight here, just going for the ride. All the way down. And I'm gonna push through, push, 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 tapping into that hamstring and glute. And then down with control, so you're not crashing down into the floor. Quiet as a mouse. All right, I'm gonna go for 8. You can hold at the top. I'm a big fan of kind of really sort of holding positions, because that's a big ask too, to sort of hold a bit of a static hold at the top. Seven, 8. Ooh, yeah. So, oh yeah, that's a toughie, isn't it? Listen, this might look easy. Single leg glute bridges off of the floor are one of those things that I feel like people mail in a lot. They're just like, yeah, this is super easy, dude. But if you're going slow and control, you're pushing through that whole foot. Like I said, keeping this leg straight, going down with control, you should feel an amazing connection with that whole muscle group back there. This is another one too, like I was saying in the beginning, you might feel stronger on one side than the other. I'm gonna do one more. Okay. I'm actually gonna move my little tripod here to the side so you can kind of get a side profile of me with getting set up for this incline press. Hi, Merlin. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna push it against the wall, come down here, get myself set up, bring those bells up. Okay, here we go. love this move, honestly, because it's like that in between, you know, flat press, overhead press, it's just that in between. We don't get a lot of work in this position, but this is a great way to do an incline press. You can't see it in the camera probably, but I have my knees bent just in case you were wondering. Not to say you couldn't put them out in front of you, it's just gonna feel weird, so kind of keep them tucked up. All right, glute raise. Flip it around here. And I know this is not my most professional camera work ever, but this is real life. And most people are working out at home, and that's awesome. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna start with my weaker side. Here we go. Oh, good. Last one. Beautiful. Switch it up. I like to bring that foot nice and close to me. I just feel like I have a lot more control. One. Sometimes I'll put my hands like this. Kind of looks like a W. This also helps me to keep my shoulders retracted, which feels good. You just don't want to be using your hands, obviously, to push through the floor. You want it all to be coming from that foot up. Last one. Yeah. All right. Let's hit this up for one more round. One more set with this guy, and then we'll get back on the ground. All right. Slide down a little bit. Couple different ways to hold the dumbbells too. I'm doing sort of like a regular grip. You can also bring them in and do like a neutral. All good, all different feels. Just make sure with whatever angle you're taking, your shoulder, the front of your shoulder is not rolling forward when you get to the bottom point. That's really common for that shoulder to sort of roll forward. Just, you want those shoulders to peel back and sort of sink in to the ball. So chest should really be working here. The majority of the work, you know, is on your chest. I'm gonna get one, woo, more. There it is. Bring it down safe. Okay. Can't say that I'm overly excited about the last round of the glute raise, but I'm gonna get it done. Here we go. Now you can bring your hips all the way down to the ground to reset every rep, which is what I'm doing. Or you can sort of hover at the, you know, almost to the ground and then come right back up. The hovering just sort of keeps that muscle under a little bit of tension. It's a little bit more difficult. If you feel like you can pull it off safely, go for it. Otherwise, just reset it right back down on the ground. That's fine. This is killing me. Oof. All right. Couple more. And we got one more superset to work with. Oh my goodness gracious. Woo! Take a rest. Sometimes this is nice. Do a little side to side action. All right, so you're gonna need that band again. We're gonna do a back exercise. And I think we're done with the legs, so we're gonna finish with some back and a little bit of core. All right, so with the band, so these are called band pull-aparts. And they're another one, kind of like the single leg glute raise. You look at it and you're like, easy. But I'm gonna give you a couple of cues that are hopefully gonna help you to connect a little bit better with that upper back. So I'm gonna grab this band and hold it kind of like how we were doing the pass-throughs, maybe a little wider than my shoulders. You can adjust as needed once you get going with it. So I'm gonna hold it out straight in front of me. And what I'm gonna do here is retract my shoulders back and down. So from your angle, it's almost gonna look like my arms are getting shorter without bending. So I've sort of packed the shoulders back and down. So that gets me set up for the motion. From there, I'm gonna start to pull the band apart like this. And as I'm pulling it apart, I'm using the strength of my back. So it's not a rowing action. It's almost kind of like a reverse fly, sort of along those same lines. So shorten up the arms, pull the band apart. It's gonna be about my chest, even though it's gonna wanna move on you and stuff. Try to keep it nice and level with your chest. Trying to not compensate here with my lower back. I'm just using the strength of my upper back. So that's what we're gonna work with, probably in like an 8 rep range. And then you're gonna go ahead and grab either 1 or 2 of those. I've got 20 pounds weight, so a little bit heavier. You'll see. Let's get into these. All right, set it up. We'll do some reps here. We did our practice. Set it up and pull apart. So much like the lateral raise, like if you're feeling this movement in your neck, you gotta retract those shoulders back and down a little bit more because we wanna keep it out of that neck. We want that upper back and the rear shoulders to be working. Keep the arms straight. And if it's really, really hard, you just grab that band a little bit further apart so it's a little bit easier to pull apart. Whatever's manageable. Every band is different, obviously. Okay, so grab one of those weights that you were working with, or 2 of the lighter ones, whatever you have access to is completely fine. I'm gonna go down on the ground and see if I have enough room here. So I got the belt above my chest, not above my face, above my chest. I'm gonna bring those legs up. I'm gonna drop 1 for a single leg drop. So I'm gonna try 8 leg drops here, nice and controlled. I'm pushing my hips down into the ground. So if your leg is not going as low as mine, do not worry about that. I want you to go to the point that you feel your abdominals sort of kick in with no lower back, irritation, and that's where you stop. So an added bonus here, I notice a lot of people have real tight hamstrings. So try to almost like point your toe towards you. See if you can extend that leg and kind of like flex it up. Because a lot of times, what I see is just sort of like a bent leg, just because hamstrings are tight. So just take advantage of this a little bit and point that toe towards you. The whole pointing the toe towards you, it's not doing anything like better with your abdominals. All we're just doing is kind of like just stretching out that hamstring a little bit. Okay, I think I've done 8. I'm gonna switch to the other side. It's the problem with doing workout videos. You totally lose track of where you are. Okay, things are heating up. Oh my goodness. Breathe. I'm gonna do 1 more. And there's 8. Oh my goodness. Bring the legs down, bring your bell down, nice and safe. I use the momentum to sort of come up with it. If you ditch it off to the side, just be really careful. Maybe do something like this. Because I've seen, this is the dumbest thing, right? People get injured doing stuff like this. All of a sudden they're like shoulder kills the next day. So try to come out of it safely, whether that means coming up with it or that means just sort of rolling to the side and letting that go. So I know it's just like a little thing, but nobody wants to get injured over something dumb, Okay. Hopefully you found something to work with on this band pull apart. If you don't have access to a band, something you could do with light weights is just a nice little reverse fly, hinging at the hips and sort of reverse fly like this. It's the same sort of thing, but I love the feel of the band. For me, doing a reverse fly with dumbbells, holding that position can be a little bit much sometimes, so this works great for me. All right, let's do it. Enough of the talking, Kelly. Sometimes I over-explain things and give a lot of cues, but you know, sometimes it takes different cues to resonate with different people, and hopefully at the end of the day you understand what I'm talking about. I guess I'd rather over-explain than under-explain. Last one here. Difficult. All right, I'm gonna get a hit of water, get back down on the ground, get into this core business. Okay, so if this can be, like I said, 2 dumbbells, 1 dumbbell, a plate, medicine ball, small child. The weight above my chest kind of keeps me grounded. Sometimes I found if people are doing this kind of exercise with no weight above them, they sort of teeter-totter and like the top of their body sort of comes up a little bit. So that's all that's happening here. Oh my. Last one. Right there. Oh geez. Switch it up. Still trying to go slow here. It's hard to go slow. Last one. Yes. Woo! Marilyn, are you impressed with the strength? Nope. Nope. Yeah, it is a rainy, cold day here in Michigan. I think our high today is 48. We don't love it. We do not love it. And just pouring rain all day long. Boo! So we have 4 dogs and morale is low. The troops are, we like to say this, it's a poop inside kind of day. And I've already found 1 poop today and it's not even noon. Okay, band pull parts. Last thing. We're gonna hit this up for a final set and then we're gonna do a couple recovery stretches and you are gonna go crush the rest of your day. Set the shoulders back and down. Hopefully you've enjoyed my commentary and also gotten a great workout in. It's been a while since I've done a follow along video. They're a lot of fun though. I've just not had the time to do it, which I know is such a dumb thing that everybody says. There's no time, there's no time, there's no time. But truthfully, and I'm so grateful, my business is busier than ever, which is amazing. So I do hope that you come back and check out one of my other videos because I've got like, at this point, there's probably like 60 follow along videos on there. And they're all like this. They're all like minimal equipment kind of things. And at home with me, dogs, a lot of funny stuff happens usually in videos. And hopefully you'll enjoy. Okay, get the bell above the chest, dropping it down. Plus they're always they are truly a lot of fun to do. Because you never know around the world, you know, who might see it eventually. And that's what's really cool about YouTube is like just sharing content and connecting with people. And if you can even like help one person out or make their day, that's awesome. Plus I think too, like a follow along like this, it almost makes you feel like you're working out with somebody. That's how I feel, even just talking to my my phone on a tripod right now. It kind of makes me feel like I'm doing a workout with somebody. Because I know how hard it can be sometimes to get like amped up to do stuff by yourself. I got one more. Hopefully you have done well through this and feel good about it. Okay, coming up for the dismount. Woohoo, Merlin, we did it. We did it, buddy. And that also gives you another use for that ball, which is kind of cool because I feel like it's one of those things where everybody has one, but you don't have a lot of uses for it. Let's bring it down. So we're gonna I wanna kind of stretch out the leg in a different position here. Adductor, this inside muscle. So I'm gonna get split stance. That foot is flat. I'm gonna put my hands in front of me. I like to sink back on that foot, and we're just gonna chill here for about 20 seconds and just let that whole leg stretch out. If you are able to go down on your elbows, that's also an option. So it's always nice to have a couple of different variations. Everybody's different. Everybody's flexibility and mobility is different. Okay, switch it up. Get into position for the other side. Hands in front of me. Sink it back. Oh yeah. Come down. Oof. We're gonna come up out of that and come to the knees and actually get some wrist stretches. So it doesn't take much. I'm just gonna sit back a little bit, and you should feel really good. We did a lot of gripping, gripping the band, gripping the dumbbells. So this is a nice little extension of, I always say, like the underbelly of the arm and the wrists. And then we're gonna bring it into flexion, which nobody loves. But listen, it's much needed for all of us. So I do have some carpet here, so it's a little bit more comfortable. So kind of like try to get yourself on a decent surface. And the back of my hands, or the top of my hands, are gonna go down to the ground. Ooh, just a slight lean back, just a tiny, maybe not even a lean back for most people. You can come in a little different directions here. You can bring the hands in. Sometimes I'll do a little rocking from side to side. That's nice. Sometimes I will bring the fingers in and extend them out and do a couple of those. So our wrists do spend a lot of time in extension, so flexion is weird. You can also do it, singular. I'll like bring a hand down. You're at your computer, you're typing all day, doing different things, you're on your phone, give the forearm, give the wrist some love. So we'll do this one, and then we'll do the other one. And then we're gonna do a little bit of like a thread the needle stretch. So I'm gonna do something to get all through there. So I'm gonna come down, thread through, push my hips either down or back, that whatever you can kind of get a little angle. Back of my shoulder is touching the floor. Breathe. Go ahead and slide that back through, and we're gonna go with the other one. Okay, last one I got for you. So I'm kind of doing like a little bit of an abbreviated stretch and just throwing a couple at you. If you want to do other stretches, of course, by all means, do those. I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna go across, and then I'm gonna come forward. Also, this butt cheek, I'm gonna flex it. So I wanna get the most out of this. Pulling over, forward. A couple more seconds here, just hold tight. Really kind of dragging that leg behind me, stretching it out. Come out of that. Okay. Other side, set it up. I'm gonna go this way. over, forward, flex, flex. Great job. Thanks for spending a little time with me. I hope you had fun. And if you have any requests for future videos with like whatever equipment, I will totally do it. And I'll try to do a better job of posting a little bit more regularly on this site. So thanks again and have an awesome day.